Hi there. Welcome. Come on in and get yourself nice and comfortable. Well, comfortable for now anyway. And how are you today? Okay. Well, as you know, you are here to be added to the fear index. Yes, it's absolutely as scary as it sounds. What I'm going to do is ask you various questions. Ask you to think about things which scare or frighten you. Ask you, would you prefer this or that? Making various choices, etc. How does that sound? At the end of the process, you'll be added to one of 3 categories in my index: the fragile, the resistant, and the hollow. I really hope you're not one of our fragile participants. But we shall see as we go. Please answer to the best of your ability and tell the truth, because the index will always know if you're lying. Think of me as a sort of harvester of anxieties, if you will. So let's begin with section 1. Interested in your phobias and instincts. Which unsettles you more? Total silence or constant whispering? And just like that, we're up and running. Would you rather be buried alive or lost at sea? Yeah, some of these will require a little thought. Take as long as you need to answer. There are 4 options for this next one. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and think of these animals and tell me which you would trust the least. The first one is rats. Get an image of a rat in your mind. Not a pleasant little pet one, but a big old sewer one. Got that? Next, a spider. Close those eyes. Oh, you can trust me, there's no tricks here. Your brain will do all the work for me. Picture a spider. And then with those eyes still closed, turn it into a snake. And then finally let it morph into a cat with very sharp claws. Which of those 4 images did you trust the least? How often do you feel the urge to look over your shoulder at night? On a scale of 1 to 10, how afraid would you be if the lights in the room suddenly cut out? Like this. Just a number between 1 and 10. Thank you. Next, a little bit of this or that. Little would you rather. Which do you hate more? The sight of blood or the sound of bones breaking? Would you rather be locked in a house or locked in a car? Would you rather see someone staring at you or feel that you're being watched but not know who is doing the watching? Would you rather fall asleep knowing that there's someone else in the room with you, or never be able to sleep again? Would you rather be trapped underground or trapped underwater? Would you rather cold, clammy hands grabbing you or feel a burning heat inside your head? Take a moment to relax if you can. That's the first part of the test. All done. Starting to see which of those categories you might be falling into. Next, I'm going to take a look at your survival skills, or certainly your thought processes on how you would survive. You're home alone and hear a glass shatter downstairs. Do you investigate or do you hide? What is your first thought as to what caused the noise? Interesting. Next, you are lost in the woods at night when you see a fire in the distance, although it might not be a campfire. Do you head towards the fire or away from the fire? Sure. Would you be safer locked inside a room with one door or outside in a place with no walls at all, which would feel safer to you? This or that, time again, making a choice. Would you rather find an exit door which doesn't open, or walk down a hallway that never ends? Depends on who else is with you, I suppose, but I don't have that information. Just the exit door that won't open, or the corridor that never ends. Would it be better to realise you've been followed for hours, or not know where you were with nobody to ask. Would you rather run endlessly with no safe place, or stand frozen still, unable to move? Would you rather face one predator that you can see, or a swarm of predators that you can't? Would you rather a knife pressed to your throat, or teeth biting into your arm? Which would you do better escaping from? A burning building or a dark cave? So I know there are an awful lot of variables here. Would you rather watch the end of the world on the news, or see it in person? That is a very interesting answer. Once again, take a moment to relax. That is that section done as well. I have to say, you're doing rather well. How are you feeling? Try and clear your mind of any frightening scenarios it may well have cooked up with all these images of unsafe places and things, because we're moving on to the unknown and the uncanny. Ready? Do you trust that you are not the subject of discussion when you're not there? What would disturb you more? A shadow that does not belong to you, or a voice that you don't know that knows your name? Shadows are all over the place, but I think I'd want something unknown knowing my name. Would you ever stop to consider just how thin the wall is between you and whatever is on the other side? Interesting how many people never even think about what's in the next room. Have you ever felt like you were being watched, but you were right? Ready to make some choices again? Okay. Would you rather a doll turning its head to look at you, or a painting following you with its eyes? Meeting someone who knows everything about you, or knowing everything about someone you've never met. How about this? Picking up the phone where the voice almost sounds like someone you know, or where the voice sounds exactly like you. Would you feel more scared watching a horror film, or if a horror film was watching you? What about walking into a room that looks exactly like your own, or walking into a room that looks nothing like it should? Hearing laughter in an empty corridor, or sobbing outside your door. Seeing something just in the corner of your eye. Someone with one of those smiles right in front of you. Well done. That's the scariest one, really. Take a breath. The last full section before a little fun at the end to help me determine exactly where in the index you belong. We're going to look at body and identity. Do you rather lose control of your body or your mind? Which would frighten you more? Not recognizing your own reflection, or recognizing a reflection that isn't yours. Would you rather be forgotten completely, or remembered only by the thing you fear the most? You think fear can live on in a person after they die? Tell me why you think that. Okay. A few this or that's, a few decisions, a few would you rathers now. Forgetting your own name or hearing someone else answer to it. Would you rather be a zombie or a vampire? Why? Would you rather your hand was moving on its own or couldn't move at all? Discovering that your memories belong to somebody else, or discovering that somebody else's memories belong to you? Waking up with no eyes, or waking up with too many eyes? Feeling teeth where they don't belong, or having no teeth at all? Relax. 3 more questions, and that is all. I can talk you through where on the index I believe you belong. Question 1. Would you rather scream forever and never be heard, or stay silent forever while something listens out for you? Would you rather watch somebody walk away wearing your body, or watch your body stay behind while you walk away without it? That's very telling. Would you rather open the door and face what is waiting head on, or keep it shut, knowing it will come through anyway? Marvellous. Any ideas where you think you'll fit on the index? Well, the fragile are just that. Very fragile. Fear runs very, very close to the surface of the fragile, with always a little hairline crack just waiting to shatter. Fear doesn't have to try very hard to break you if you are fragile. Shadow, a whisper, brush by of something that you haven't seen. That's enough. But the fragile tend to notice what others miss because they're already looking out for it. So, yeah, they feel danger before it arrives. Fragility is not weakness, I promise you. For the resistant, well, the fear finds you, but it won't claim you easily. You might fight it, try and outlast it, all those kinds of things. Because you have proof of survival. I mean, resistance is never permanent, let's be honest. Every fortress crumbles, doesn't it? So, but if you are resistant, then your strength is admirable. Just mind out that strength is an invited test. And my favourite's the hollow, the empty vessels. Fear simply echoes inside you. When others flinch away, you remain perfectly still. When others scream, you're silent. But hollowness isn't freedom, it's a vacancy. So it's the absence of what should have been there. The problem with the hollow is where there's a vacant space, something can always fill it, and it does. Hollow things never stay empty for very long. But did any of those resonate with you today? I have my answer here. Tell me, which category do you think you fall into? You know what? I would absolutely agree. Are you happy for me to index you today? Wonderful. One more thing before you go. Over the next month, you're going to encounter some of these scenarios. I'm not going to tell you which. Where would be the surprise in that? But keep your wits about you. You're going to need them. But thank you for taking my test today. I will now file this in the index. And I will see you again very soon. Potentially a month from now. I'd like to re-index you after that, if possible. But until then, take care.